He came off the roof, he walked into the parking lot, he got into a car and drove away. At least, that's what they want us to believe. But tonight, we're asking, was that really the truth? Or just the story we were told? The assassination of Charlie Kirk didn't just send shockwaves through America. It left behind a trail of contradictions, secrets, and unanswered questions. And at the center of it all stands Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old now branded as a lone gunman, facing the death penalty. But what if he isn't the shooter? What if justice itself has been hijacked? This is not the story the headlines wanted you to hear. This is the hidden truths. Before we dive in, let me speak to you directly. Right now, as you're watching this, a man sits in solitary confinement. His name is Tyler Robinson. He could be executed for a crime he may not have committed. And if we stay silent, the truth may never see the light of day. So please subscribe to The Hidden Truths, turn on notifications, and comment below where you're watching from. Together, we can keep this investigation alive when others want it buried. Don't just watch, stand with us for justice. The September 10th, 2025, an auditorium in Arm, Utah. Families, students, parents, all gathered to hear Charlie Kirk speak. What was supposed to be a night of inspiration turned into chaos. In a split second, one gunshot shattered everything. Eyewitnesses described panic, people diving behind concrete walls, mothers shielding their children, screams cutting through the air. But among the chaos, some details stood out. Some people weren't running. They weren't afraid. They were watching, almost as if they knew what was coming. And then there's the mystery of the so-called goth girls. Two young women dressed in black, standing calm as the crowd fled. While everyone else ducked and screamed, one of them muttered, "Go fuck yourselves." At the time, no one understood it. But in hindsight, their composure feels chilling. Were they witnesses? Or were they part of something larger? Let's look at the medical evidence. Prosecutors insist Robinson fired from a rooftop with a high-powered rifle. But surgeons who worked on Charlie Kirk revealed something shocking. There was no exit wound. The bullet was found lodged deep inside Kirk's neck. Experts agree that makes no sense if it came from a rifle above. A downward high-velocity shot should have pierced straight through. Instead, the trajectory shows it came from behind, moving forward and close range. And if that's true, then Robinson couldn't have been the shooter. Because the angle doesn't just put him out of position, it clears him entirely. This is where I need you to lean in with me. Imagine being Robinson right now. Imagine sitting in a cold, lonely cell, being told you may die for something you know you didn't do. Imagine your family waiting outside the courtroom, powerless, praying someone will listen. If that thought shakes you like it shakes me, then don't just sit back. Be part of this investigation. Subscribe to The Hidden Truths, comment Justice Matters, and share this with one friend who believes in truth over spin. Together we are stronger than the lies. Dozens of people in that auditorium reported the same thing. The shot wasn't distant. It wasn't muffled. It was sharp, immediate, so close that ears rang as if the weapon had been fired inside the room. Cell phone footage backs this up. In clip after clip, people duck within fractions of a second. That kind of instant reaction only happens when a shot is right on top of you, not echoing from a rooftop across campus. Yet despite having access to dozens of videos, police have released no sound analysis, no triangulation, no transparency. Why? Is it negligence or a cover-up? Prosecutors cling hardest to the so-called digital evidence, angry texts and a handwritten note under Robinson's keyboard. The note allegedly read, "I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." But ask yourself, who hides a confession under their own keyboard? It's too perfect, too convenient, almost like it was placed there for investigators to find. And those texts, out of context, frustration can look like a threat, words twisted into motives. But does that prove murder or just anger? For critics, it's not evidence, it's theater. A scapegoat narrative built to satisfy the public's hunger for a name, a face, and a swift arrest. For the Kirk family, this trial is personal. They sit just feet from Robinson in court, grieving the loss of a son, a husband, a father. For them, this isn't conspiracy, it's pain. And outside, the country is divided. Some demand justice at any cost. Others demand the truth before a life is taken in error. The lines are sharp, the stakes are higher than ever. And through it all, the cracks in the system grow wider. What happens if the wrong man is convicted? What happens if the real shooter walks free? You've stayed with us this far, and that means you care. But here's the hard truth. If independent voices like The Hidden Truths disappear, stories like this will vanish with them. The mainstream has no interest in digging deeper, only in closing the case. Don't let that happen. Subscribe right now, comment truth over narrative, and share this video with 3 people who need to know the facts. Because once the truth is gone, it's gone forever. Closing buildup. So we're left with haunting questions. If the bullet's path shows a shot from close range, why does the state insist on a rooftop sniper? If the sound was sharp and immediate, why ignore dozens of witnesses? If the note was so incriminating, why was it hidden in the most obvious place? And if the case is airtight, why does every piece of evidence raise new contradictions? Tyler Robinson's life hangs in the balance. Charlie Kirk's family waits for justice, and the nation waits for answers it may never get. But one truth remains. If Robinson isn't the shooter, then the real killer is still free, out there, watching, waiting. This case is not over. Not for the Kirk family, not for Tyler Robinson, not for the truth. And until it is, we will keep asking the questions others are too afraid to ask. Because in the end, the truth always fights its way out of the shadows. And here on The Hidden Truths, we'll be waiting for it.